Today we are doing episode 9 of Quick Questions, and I have Dan Ahlers, who is running for governor in South Dakota currently.
Hello, everyone.
Dan, could you give a short explanation of your background and experience?
Sure. I have spent the last 3 years as the executive director for the South Dakota Democratic Party.
Mm-hmm.
I've been a substitute teacher for the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to that, a lot of the work that I've done has been as a small business owner.
Mm-hmm.
Owned a couple of different businesses over the last 3 decades.
Yeah.
And then a lot of work in the nonprofit world.
Mm-hmm.
Chamber of Commerce, our Del Rapids Community Fund, our
Okay.
before after school programs.
Yeah, that's great. I have a couple of questions now relating to running for governor and what you would propose to do to help some things in our state. For example, I know that farmers are really hurting currently in South Dakota. Do you have some ideas of how you would be able to help them?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I've been touring around the state quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I've stopped and visited with a few farmers.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of the things that we can do as a state is we can help with finding new markets for
Sure.
South Dakota products. That's
Okay.
one of the things that I've seen as a former legislator
Mm-hmm.
that our state government is able to do.
Yeah.
I think also encouraging and investing in our farmers and the different industries that spin off from that. For
Sure.
example, I went to an industrial hemp farm
Oh, okay. Yeah.
and I visited with a farmer there. He has a processing plant on his farm, and
Okay.
I witnessed while I was there at least 4 different raw products that come from
Oh,
that
wow.
industrial hemp that can be used from everything from animal bedding to building houses.
Oh, wow.
And this farmer is actually building a hempcrete factory,
Okay.
but he's not building it in South Dakota. He's
Okay.
building it in Iowa.
Oh.
So I asked him, why are you building in Iowa and not in South Dakota?
Yeah.
And he said, well, because the incentives weren't here for me to do that,
Oh, yeah.
which I think is crazy because
Yeah,
you
that
see
is.
every day that we're investing and giving money to large companies, 69 million here,
Yeah.
140 million here to these large companies to come into the state,
Yeah.
and yet we aren't investing in our local entrepreneurs.
Right.
And this hempcrete farm costs 3 million versus the 69 million we just invested in CJ Swans.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the jobs that are created by the hempcrete factory
Mm-hmm.
pay more than
Sure.
a place like CJ
Sure.
Swans.
Yeah. I didn't know that. Another question that I have been asked that some people are wanting to know is, how do you plan on working with the 9 tribes we have in South Dakota, working on our relationship with them?
Well, we need to do a lot of work to repair that relationship. It's
Yep.
been damaged over the years
Mm-hmm.
by past leaders,
Yeah.
current leaders, not showing respect for the sovereignty of the tribes,
Yes.
not treating them as equals. Here's another experience I had as a state legislator
Mm-hmm.
where we would actually be voting on policy and legislation that impact the tribes. And we'd ask the question, well, did you consult the tribes? And rarely the answer was yes.
Right.
So we're making decisions that impact the 9 tribes, but we're not including them as part of the conversation. That would change if I'm governor of South Dakota. That approach would change. I would work with them. I'd want to know and hear from them what are their biggest issues, what are their biggest problems, what are the things that they need to tackle.
Yeah.
Because we make assumptions that they're the same, and they're not
They're
always the
not.
same.
Right.
Whether it's healthcare or education, there are nuances and differences, and
Yeah.
I want them to be an active member. I
Yeah.
want them to have a seat at the table.
That's great. Yeah, I agree with that. This is a huge one. I get asked this a lot to ask you. People want to know, do you support hyperscale data centers coming to South Dakota?
I do believe the reality is that data centers are necessary. I like what the legislature did, pressing the pause button and really taking some time to get some feedback
Mm-hmm.
from voters. I think that's incredibly important.
Mm-hmm.
Most importantly, though, if they want to build here, I want to know that they're going to be a good neighbor. As a business owner, I believe there's a responsibility and a commitment to the communities that we're
Yeah.
in and that we serve. The same should apply for these data centers. I don't think they need state subsidies.
Right.
These are multi-billion-dollar companies that don't need extra money to come here. I want to know that they're going to be committed to building the highest quality
Yeah.
data center that they can, the most energy efficient.
Sure.
And if they can't do that, then we don't want them here.
Right. Are you concerned about the environmental impact it could have on South Dakota as far as water and just wildlife around the data center because of noise and light pollution?
Absolutely. So that is why I would like to see the highest of standards for these.
Hmm.
And you can look to states like Wyoming, and I
Okay.
use Wyoming as an example
Hmm.
because there's been a lot of mining over the years. They have really strong reclamation processes.
Hmm.
They have high standards
Okay.
for things like mines. They have higher standards for data centers.
Okay.
So if you want them to be there, they need to be the best.
Okay.
They shouldn't have a negative impact on our environment. They shouldn't have a negative impact on the people in the surrounding area.
Sure.
And our citizens should have a say in that. And if they don't
Yes.
want them in their neighborhood, then they shouldn't be there.
Yes. I agree. It should really be up to the people living here. Here's another one that is requested a lot. Have you ever taken money from APAC?
No, I didn't
Would you
know.
ever take money from APAC?
No, uh, I don't take a lot of PAC money. I never
Hmm.
have. And when I do take PAC money, I usually want to know a little more about the groups.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there have been times that I've turned money away.
That's
It's
great.
it's just on a case by case basis. To be honest with you,
Hmm.
until this really became an issue, I had to actually look up what APAC was. So
That's great to hear, honestly. Like, I love that. What is your favorite thing about South Dakotans?
there's a spirit of determination.
Mhm.
We just had a long history of progressive movements in
Yeah.
South Dakota. Despite what people might think of it as a red state, if you look at the things that people in South Dakota support,
Yeah.
they're looking to take care of their neighbors. They're looking to expand Medicaid. They're looking to increase the minimum wage. They're
Yeah.
looking to do all these good things.
Mhm.
And we need to be listening to the people of South Dakota.
I agree.
Our government would look a lot different if we spent more time listening to everyday South Dakota. I remember as a legislator bringing bills to peer, I would
Yeah.
have other legislators ask me, where do you get such good ideas? And it simply comes from listening.
Yeah.
The people that made those phone calls, that came into my business, that took the time to visit,
Yeah.
folks will tell you exactly what's working, what's not working.
Mhm.
And I think that if you're doing that, and that's guiding your policy,
Mhm.
you're really doing what needs to be done. And
Yeah.
that's represent the people that elected you.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you think we should help teachers and education in South Dakota? I know we're pretty far at the bottom as far as funding and test scores. So, what do you think we could do to help teachers and our education system?
Well, first and foremost, our leaders need to show respect to educators.
Yeah.
I've watched the last 2.5 decades of leadership not showing respect for education,
Yeah.
not showing value for education,
Mhm.
disrespecting our teachers and our schools and all the other faculty member that work there. They have a hard job to do. 10 years as a substitute teacher, we need to be talking about education in a positive way.
Yes.
Almost every problem we face as a state, whether it's incarceration or healthcare, we can make those things better by simply having a well
Absolutely.
educated society.
Absolutely.
On the investment side in dollars, dollars don't solve everything, but dollars are very important to creating opportunity.
Yeah.
I'm watching teachers leave the profession. They're not getting paid very well. A lot is asked of them.
Yes.
And these aren't teachers that have been there for years. These are young teachers.
Yeah.
Just in the school district that I substitute in, I've watched 5 teachers quit over the last three
Mhm.
years. And they're not just quitting and leaving and going to another district, they're quitting the profession altogether.
Yeah.
And that should be alarming because that's doing a disservice to our youth.
Yeah.
And we have the tax dollars to invest in education that we need to.
Yes.
You hear it every year. They talk about budget surpluses.
Mhm.
The money is there. It's
Mhm.
all about where we set our priorities.
Yeah.
And as governor of South Dakota, I would set our priorities on education at the very top.
Yeah, absolutely. It takes a lot to become a teacher, and you have high student loans, and then you don't get paid very much, and then it's mentally and physically taxing, as well as costing money out of your paycheck. I don't blame them for wanting to leave.
And I think that the additional training that they do year in and year out,
Mhm.
I don't think that should cost them anything.
I agree.
I think that's something simple and easy that we can do. I look at student teaching. We
Mhm.
require it to be a year now. It used to be
Mhm.
a half year. So if we're going to do that, then we either have a reduced or forgiven tuition upon
Mhm.
completion for that year, or we allow them to be paid for being there.
Yeah.
and we provide the funding to make sure that those teachers get paid, so at least they're earning something.
Yeah.
Because it's hard for them to work all day and then now you got to go find a second job so you can pay the bills. I don't
Exactly.
think that's a fair ask, and I
No.
don't know of any other profession that has those types of
Right.
requirements.
Yeah, I agree completely. How do you plan to help our aging population, especially knowing that we're heading towards a lack of funding for Social Security in the future?
Here's another area that we need to invest in when it comes to our healthcare system.
Yeah. Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
we've had 13 nursing homes close over the last 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
We're seeing declining services in rural areas, and now it's starting to affect our major metropolitan areas.
Sure.
I've experienced this personally with my dad,
Okay.
uh, both on the east and west side of the state, in
Yeah.
Rapid City and Sioux Falls. Being able to get the kind of care that he needs
Yeah.
is very, very difficult. And we're talking about the large hospitals.
Right.
They don't have the capacity, they don't have the professionals.
The staff. Yeah.
We need to be visiting with our healthcare professionals. We need to be looking at what those upcoming needs are
Mhm.
and then setting goals to meet those challenges.
Yeah.
But we have to have a plan, and I feel right now that we're dealing with what's happening after it happens instead of being proactive.
Right. Yeah.
So we really
True.
need to develop a good plan because our aging population is going to continue
To
all the
increase.
way
Yeah.
up into 2060.
Yeah.
That's a long time. It's
Yeah.
a long time away from now, but
It's a long time to constantly be behind, too.
yeah, you don't want to have to send people to another state. I
No.
know families that have their loved ones in
Mhm.
other states because that's where they can get the
Yeah.
care.
And then you can't visit them.
Yes, and that's not good for them.
Right.
It's not good for families,
Right.
and we just have to be serious about it. We
Yeah.
need leaders that are serious about finding solutions.
What are two goals you have immediately as governor of South Dakota?
The first one would be constructing a budget
Mhm.
that will start addressing some of the issues that we're seeing in education and healthcare. And I want to see something done about property taxes.
Mhm.
I think that we need to really be serious about addressing that issue. Senate Bill 245 didn't address those, it
Yeah.
just simply did a tax shift. And
Mhm.
that tax shift is still hurting the people that can afford it the least,
Right.
right? Uh,
Yes.
whether it's property taxes or sales tax, the people with the least amount of money are sharing the greater burden. And
Mhm.
so we have to be serious about finding solutions and figuring out ways to provide immediate relief. The state does actually have programs, and you never hear them talking about it. There's one for seniors, there's one for people with
Okay.
disabilities, there's one for veterans, and that's for property tax. There's one for sales tax too, where people can be reimbursed.
Yeah.
Why aren't we promoting those programs?
Yeah.
Are they accessible? Is the threshold too high? Do we need to
Mhm.
look at those things and change those? Do we need to lower the bar or
Mhm.
increase the income limit so that it is reflective of today's economy?
Yeah.
And we can do those things. They're not difficult,
Mhm.
but people most importantly need to know that they're there
Yeah.
and that the state's providing them.
Yeah.
Then we can work on a long-term solution, because just eliminating property taxes is not a real solution.
Right. Right. It's
Too
not.
too many of our local communities rely on that for law enforcement.
Yeah.
They rely on it for our firefighters, for our EMS, for our roads, infrastructure, water and sewer. If you don't have those dollars, how do you pay for those essential
Right.
services?
I agree. I agree. How about any events coming up that you are really looking forward to that you'd like to mention?
I've been visiting with our U.S. congressional candidate, Nikki Gronley,
Mhm.
and we spent yesterday afternoon going through the list of all the events. There's a bunch of Wachipis that we're going to go
Mm.
to. I know there's plans for some of us to go to Kransburg and Watertown.
Okay.
Some are in Sioux Falls. I think I'm actually heading west, and I'm going to spend about 3 or 4 days out there going to the
Cool.
Rapid City, Custer, Spearfish,
Yeah.
and Lead and Deadwood.
Yeah.
We're just going to get out there and meet people. I'm excited about the 4th of July. It's the
Yeah.
250th anniversary.
Yeah. Just shuffle around the state a little
Yeah,
bit, huh?
yeah. And
Yeah.
it'll be a great chance to get out there and visit with folks.
Yeah, for sure. Do you have anything else you would like to say?
I think the most important thing is that I want people to know that they're going to have a candidate and a governor who will have their back,
Yeah.
that will listen to them, that will work for them. We've seen almost 5 decades of one party rule, and you have to ask yourself, are things getting better?
Right.
And they're not. So it's time for a change. It's time for something different. It's
Mhm.
time for new leadership, and leadership that really understands the value of working across party lines.
Yeah.
As a Democrat working in the minority the time I was in the legislature, I know what it really means to have to work across party lines to get things accomplished and
Yeah.
passed. And I think it would be beneficial to the state of South Dakota to have someone like that sitting in the governor's office.
Yeah. And in your speech, when you announced your campaign, I liked what you said about would you rather have a Republican who thinks they are just getting your vote or someone who's going to work for your vote?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When I served as a Democrat in an extremely red district,
Mm-hmm.
I would knock 5,000 doors every election cycle.
Yeah.
And I thought that that was important. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And once again, it's where I got the ideas to bring for
Sure.
legislation.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate and love to connect with voters. And I hope that people are willing to take a look at me and my campaign,
Yeah.
ask questions,
Yeah.
and elect me their next governor of South Dakota.
Yeah. Thank you for taking the time to meet with me. I appreciate
Well,
it.
thank you for interviewing me, Jess.
Yeah.